Your cat just finished eating. They walk away from their bowl, lick their whiskers, and settle into their favorite nap spot. Everything looks normal, peaceful. But inside their body, something dangerous just began. A slow, silent process that most cat owners never see until it's too late. The bowl you just filled, the portion you just measured, the timing you thought was perfect, it might be setting up your cat for kidney disease, diabetes, or chronic dehydration within the next few years. And here's the disturbing part. You probably learned this feeding routine from a vet, a pet store employee, or even another cat owner who meant well. But good intentions don't always equal good outcomes. I'm about to share something that contradicts almost everything you've been told about feeding cats. And if you've been following the twice-a-day rule religiously, what I'm about to reveal might make you question whether you've been accidentally harming your cat this entire time. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why feeding frequency isn't just about convenience or routine. It's about survival, hormones, and a biological truth most vets don't even discuss during regular checkups. Welcome back to Cat Rules, where we don't just repeat what everyone else says. We dig deeper, question harder, and always put your cat's health first. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today's topic could genuinely add years to your cat's life. Let's get started. You've been told that cats should eat twice a day. Morning and evening. Clean, simple, balanced. It's practically gospel in the pet care world. Vets recommend it. Cat food bags printed on the label. Even experienced cat owners swear by it. But here's what no one tells you. That rule wasn't designed for your cat. It was designed for your schedule. Let me explain. The twice-a-day feeding rule became popular in the 1980s when more households had both partners working full-time. Pet food. Companies needed a feeding guideline that fit human convenience, not feline biology. And it stuck for decades. But your cat's digestive system doesn't run on human office hours. It runs on predator rhythms. In the wild, cats don't eat 2 large meals. They hunt and eat small prey multiple times throughout the day and night. A mouse here, a bird there, maybe 6 to 12 tiny meals in a 24-hour period. Each meal is small, frequent, and protein-rich. That's what their stomach, liver, and metabolism evolved to handle. When you feed your cat only twice a day, you're forcing their body into an unnatural cycle of feast and famine. Their blood sugar spikes after eating, then crashes hours later. Their digestive enzymes sit idle for too long. Their liver works overtime to process a large meal all at once. And their stomach, which is roughly the size of a ping pong ball, gets stretched beyond comfort. Over time, this pattern doesn't just cause discomfort, it rewires their metabolism. And that's when the real damage begins. Let's talk about what actually happens inside your cat's body between meals. When a cat goes more than 8 to 12 hours without food, their body enters what's called a catabolic state. That's a fancy term for breaking down muscle tissue to create energy. You might think, well, they're just using their fat reserves, right? Wrong. Cats are obligate carnivores. Their bodies are designed to burn protein, not fat, for energy. So when your cat goes too long without eating, they don't just get hungry. They start breaking down their own muscle mass. And this doesn't happen once in a while. It happens every single night if you're feeding them twice a day with no overnight meal. Their last meal might be at 6 p.m., and their next one isn't until 7 a.m. the next morning. That's 13 hours of muscle breakdown. Now imagine that happening every single day for years. What starts as a feeding routine becomes a slow, invisible form of malnutrition. Even if your cat looks healthy on the outside, inside, their organs are struggling. Their liver, in particular, becomes vulnerable. Cats have a unique liver metabolism. Unlike dogs or humans, their liver can't handle long fasting periods. When they go too long without food, fat starts accumulating in the liver, a condition called hepatic lipidosis, or fatty liver disease. And once that process starts, it can become life-threatening within days. This is why feeding frequency isn't just a preference. It's a medical necessity. But here's the kicker. Most vets don't emphasize this during checkups because they assume you already know. They assume someone already told you, but chances are no one ever did. Now, before you panic and start leaving food out all day, let me stop you. Free feeding is not the solution. In fact, it creates a whole different set of problems. When food is available 24/7, your cat loses their natural hunger cues. They start eating out of boredom, stress, or habit, not actual hunger. And that leads to overeating, weight gain, and eventually obesity. According to the Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, nearly 60% of cats in the United States are overweight or obese. That's not because cats are lazy, it's because their feeding environment is broken. Free feeding also disrupts insulin regulation. Every time your cat eats, their pancreas releases insulin to process the food. When food is always available, insulin levels stay elevated, which over time can lead to insulin resistance, the precursor to diabetes. So if twice a day is too little and free feeding is too much, what's the answer? The answer is frequency with portion control. Instead of 2 large meals, your cat should ideally eat 3 to 5 smaller meals spread throughout the day. Each meal should be portioned based on their ideal body weight, not their current weight, and not based on what the food bag recommends. Food companies often suggest portion sizes that are 20 to 30% higher than what cats actually need because, let's be honest, more food sold means more profit. The goal is to mimic your cat's natural hunting pattern. Small, frequent, protein-rich meals that keep their metabolism steady, their blood sugar stable, and their hunger satisfied without overeating. But I know what you're thinking. I work full-time. I can't be home 5 times a day to feed my cat. And you're right. That's not realistic. So here's how you make it work. Feed your cat before you leave for work. That's meal 1. Set up an automatic feeder to dispense a small meal midday. That's meal 2. Feed them when you get home in the evening. That's meal 3. And if possible, give them a small snack before bed. That's meal 4. You don't need to be physically present for every meal. Technology can help. Automatic feeders with timers and portion control are one of the best investments you can make for your cat's health. They allow you to maintain feeding frequency without disrupting your own schedule. And if you have multiple cats, you can even get feeders with microchip recognition, so each cat only eats their own food. This isn't about making your life harder. It's about making your cat's life healthier. And once you see the difference in their energy, coat quality, and overall mood, you'll realize it's worth the small adjustment. Now let's talk about kittens, because their needs are completely different. If you have a kitten under 6 months old, feeding them only twice a day is genuinely dangerous. Kittens have tiny stomachs and sky-high metabolisms. They're growing bones, building muscle, and developing organs all at the same time. That requires constant fuel. A kitten's blood sugar can drop to dangerous levels in just 4 to 6 hours without food. That's why kittens need to eat at least 4 to 5 times a day until they're about 6 months old. Missing even one meal can cause hypoglycemia, which leads to weakness, trembling, and in severe cases, seizures. I've seen too many kitten owners rush to the emergency vet because their kitten suddenly went limp, only to find out it was low blood sugar from being fed like an adult cat. Don't let that be your story. If you're raising a kitten, set phone reminders. Keep small portions ready. Make feeding frequency your top priority, because what you do in these first 6 months will shape their health for the next 15 to 20 years. And then there's the opposite end of the spectrum, senior cats. Once your cat reaches about 11 or 12 years old, their digestive system starts slowing down. Their sense of smell weakens. Their teeth may become sensitive. Their appetite decreases. This is when many cat owners make a critical mistake. They assume their senior cat just isn't hungry anymore, so they reduce meal frequency or portion sizes. But a senior cat not eating isn't normal. It's a red flag. Older cats need smaller, more frequent meals even more than younger cats do. 3 to 4 small meals a day keeps their energy stable and prevents nausea, which is common in aging cats. Adding moisture is also critical. Senior cats are notorious for not drinking enough water. Their kidneys are often already compromised, and dehydration accelerates kidney disease faster than almost anything else. So if you have a senior cat, every single meal should include moisture. Mix water into their dry food. Offer wet food. Add a splash of low-sodium chicken broth. Make hydration part of the feeding ritual, not an afterthought. Because once kidney disease progresses, there's no reversing it, only managing it. And trust me, you don't want to manage kidney disease if you can prevent it. Here's something else most cat owners overlook: the speed at which your cat eats. If your cat inhales their food in under a minute, that's a problem. Fast eating leads to vomiting, choking, and poor digestion. It also means your cat isn't feeling satisfied, even after eating. Why? Because satiety signals take about 10 to 15 minutes to reach the brain. If your cat finishes their meal in 60 seconds, their brain hasn't even registered that they ate yet. This is why some cats beg for food right after eating. They're not still hungry. Their brain just hasn't caught up. The solution is simple: slow them down. Puzzle feeders, slow feed bowls, or even spreading their food out on a flat plate forces them to eat more slowly. This gives their brain time to process fullness, reduces vomiting, and turns mealtime into a mentally stimulating activity. Cats are hunters. They're supposed to work for their food. When eating becomes too easy, it loses its behavioral value. Slowing down their eating isn't about making it harder. It's about making it more natural. Let's address the wet food versus dry food debate, because this ties directly into feeding frequency. Dry food is convenient. It doesn't spoil. You can leave it out for hours, but it's also dehydrating. Most dry cat food contains only 6 to 10% moisture. Compare that to a wild mouse, which is about 70% moisture. When you feed only dry food, your cat is living in a constant state of mild dehydration. Their kidneys have to work harder. Their urine becomes more concentrated, and over time, that increases the risk of urinary crystals, bladder stones, and chronic kidney disease. Wet food, on the other hand, contains 75 to 80% moisture. Feeding wet food is like giving your cat a drink with every meal. But here's the catch: wet food spoils quickly. You can't leave it out all day. So if you're feeding multiple small meals, wet food requires more planning. The ideal solution: a combination. Wet food for breakfast and dinner. Small portions of high-quality dry food for midday meals. This balances hydration with convenience and gives your cat nutritional variety. And variety matters. Cats can develop food sensitivities or nutrient imbalances when they eat the exact same thing every single day for years. Rotating proteins, textures, and brands keeps their gut microbiome diverse and their palate engaged. Now let's talk about something no one wants to discuss but everyone needs to hear: emotional eating. Yes, cats do it too. When cats are bored, lonely, or anxious, they turn to food for comfort. It's not just a human thing. If your cat is meowing at their bowl constantly, even right after eating, the issue might not be hunger. It might be emotional. Cats are routine-driven animals. When their environment lacks stimulation, enrichment, or predictable interaction, they seek comfort in the one reliable thing they have: food. This is especially common in single-cat households where the owner works long hours. The cat spends most of the day alone with nothing to do. So when you come home, they fixate on food because it's the only exciting thing that happens. The solution isn't more food, it's more engagement. Play with your cat for at least 10 to 15 minutes twice a day. Set up window, perches so they can watch birds. Rotate their toys weekly so nothing gets boring. Create vertical spaces like cat trees or shelves where they can climb and observe. When you enrich their environment, food stops being their only source of joy. And when that happens, their relationship with food becomes healthier, more balanced, and less desperate. Here's a truth that might surprise you. The feeding schedule that works for one cat might not work for another, even in the same household. Some cats thrive on 3 meals a day. Others do better with 5. Some cats are grazers who prefer tiny snacks throughout the day. Others are gorgers who want to eat a full meal and then ignore food for hours. This is why cookie-cutter advice doesn't work. You have to observe your individual cat. Watch their behavior, monitor their weight, check their energy levels. Look at the quality of their coat. Notice their litter box habits. Your cat's body will tell you if the feeding schedule is working or not. If they're constantly begging, they might need more frequent meals. If they're leaving food behind, portions might be too large. If they're gaining weight, calories need to be reduced. If they're losing weight, something is wrong, and a vet visit is needed immediately. Feeding isn't a set it and forget it routine. It's an ongoing conversation between you and your cat's body, and the more you pay attention, the better you'll get at reading their signals. Before we wrap up, I want to address one more myth that refuses to die. The idea that feeding your cat at the same time every day is essential. Yes, cats appreciate routine, but no, it doesn't have to be militarily precise. Life happens. You sleep in on weekends, you have appointments, you travel, and that's okay. What matters more than exact timing is consistency and frequency. If your cat normally eats 4 times a day, keep it at 4 times a day, even if the timing shifts by an hour or 2. Their body will adjust. What their body can adjust to is going from 4 meals one day to 2 meals the next, then back to 4. That kind of inconsistency confuses their metabolism, stresses their digestive system, and creates anxiety around food. So aim for consistency in how often they eat, not obsession over when they eat. Your cat will thank you by being more relaxed, more trusting, and less food fixated. Let's bring this full circle. Feeding your cat isn't just about filling a bowl. It's about understanding biology, respecting instinct, and recognizing that every meal is a building block for long-term health. The twice-a-day rule isn't evil, it's just outdated. And now that you know better, you can do better. Start small. If you're currently feeding twice a day, add 1 midday meal. See how your cat responds. If they seem more energetic, less vocal, and more satisfied, you're on the right track. Then consider adding a 4th meal before bed. Adjust portions so the total daily calories stay the same, just spread out more evenly. And remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Even 1 extra meal per day can make a significant difference in your cat's metabolic health, mood, and lifespan. Because when you feed with intention, awareness, and love, you're not just feeding a cat, you're nourishing a life, you're building trust. You're saying every single day, I see you, I care, and I'm here. So the next time you reach for that food bowl, pause for just a moment. Think about what that meal represents. Think about the hunter inside your cat, the rhythm their body craves, the balance they need to thrive, and then feed them not out of habit, but out of understanding. Because that's what separates a cat owner from a cat guardian. One follows rules, the other follows instinct. Be the guardian your cat deserves. If this video changed the way you think about feeding, leave a comment below and tell me what surprised you most. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Cat Rules because we're just getting started. Your cat's health is worth the extra effort. And trust me, they'll show you their gratitude in ways you never expected. See you in the next video, cat lovers.